So, anything you want to go over from yesterday?
I wanted to ask a couple things.
Yeah.
When we were doing the leg yields, you said don't put your weight into it. I was just trying to figure out why. Not that saying that I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So obviously it was better. I'm just trying to figure out why.
Well, because in the beginning with a young horse, what you really want a really elementary lesson, you want them to move from the leg. So,
so later on you can use your weight.
yeah, no, you will use you'll use, like if you have pass later on or whatever, you'll be using as much, probably, you'll some leg, of course, because you're correcting this and that, but you'll be leading the horse with your weight. So a lot of the movements will be weight sort of directed.
But we were just trying to give her a move. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other thing is, I feel like if I'm riding like this,
Yeah.
feet out,
Right.
I can't, to me, I guess this is the way it would work. I feel like I have to pick her belly up to get her to go round. Is that not correct?
Not quite, because what you're really doing, in other words, stop for a second. There's two important fulcrums in the horse. All right, this is one right here at the withers. So if you take the head and neck of the horse, here, come on, yeah, good. And she probably won't do it, but if you lower that down, right, you're gonna get a little bit. You can bounce the back up. So you've got this seesaw, right? And if you take the teeter, the seesaw, this end goes down. You get a little lift in the muscles right here behind the withers. So you can actually feel the back. That's what we use it for, long and low, to stretch the back and lift the back up there.
Yeah.
Now the second fulcrum is here. This is probably the even more important one, is right here at this LS joint, this lumbosacral. So this whole hip assembly, you see how it is, it's camped out behind. Yeah. Now, but in a good dressage horse, what you want to do is take it, and you want to have the ability to bring it under. So then you do that. When this swings under, then you're going to get a lift right here. Right under, in the loins of the horse, they come up. Yeah. So if you take a photograph, or you could even stop actually the film, in a good pirouette, you'll see even sometimes a horse maybe with a little hollow back will lift its back up. Now there's actually pictures in my book there where this, you'll see when those hind legs come under, the back muscles tense. So that's the second fulcrum. So when you get the hind legs to sink, then the seesaw there picks the back up that way. That's more advanced, but that's going to be the more important one, because we're going to ride with the neck up and out on the bit, and then the neck gets stabilized and it stays there. And we really then, most of the other exercises are about how much weight do you carry behind, how far do you get the hind legs under, and really how much tipping do you get, how light do you make the forehand.
So it's not about picking this up so much as it is putting this under.
Exactly. That's the fallacy. And a lot of times French literature will talk about, they'll even do techniques like strike with the spur, tickle with the spur. And of course, when the horse, and you can even see chiropractors do this all the time. They do it as a trick. And you run down the midline of the horse's belly, and you can, yes, yeah, and the horse just instantly roaches his back up, It's really a trick. And so it's dramatic to a novice, because you say, well, geez, look, they can really get the back up. But how would that be sustained? How would you do? What were you going to do? You're going to keep that spur on there all the time, tickling the belly to keep the back humped up? Is that going to work over a long period of time? Yeah. It's not. It's just really what it is. It's just like a parlor trick. It's just a reflex, but it's not really a way you can sustain balance. So in the same way, a human being, you want to do your abdominal exercises to get, the first thing a person that has lower back pain, a good doctor is going to send you to a PT. Yeah, you're going to work on your abs and stuff and start doing exercises to give yourself strength in the core, because it's probably a core thing. Yeah. And that's the same with the horse. So you certainly want abdominal strength, but you also need back strength, and those big hind muscles of the hind, because the horse is a quadruped, not a bipedal like us. So when you get those to really come under, that's when you're going to feel you really get the lift. So you're that's really what the classical exercises are.
By tickling the stomach,
yeah,
lifting the back, and then you don't feel this under.
No, it's more like a spasm. It's not really a gymnastic thing, whereas when you go to something like a piaffe, see, then the hind legs are coming under. The horse uses its back muscles and its glutes to pull to make the front end light, and it's holding the weight up, so that from the piaffe to a good piaffe, then the rider could go right to a levade. So you would have this continuum. From a collected trot, the horse is maybe balanced a little more 50-50 over front and back legs. Then you go to piaffe, you try to balance, get 60-40, something like that. Then levade, it's 100% on the rear and nothing on the front. You're tipping up. So what you're really doing is trying to master this continuum of this longitudinal balance. So there's two main areas that you're working on in any horse, and it's the lateral sort of balance or lateral symmetry and longitudinal balance. So like in your horse, the lateral problem is a bit, actually she's not so bad for being young, like the balance and the gaits longitudinally, but we got a real hook to the one direction. So we've got to try to really make her more symmetrical by doing a lot more work in the one direction till she moves over from the right, which way was it? The right, isn't it? Yeah. She right. So we're going to have to keep using the leg gills in circles.
All the time.
Yeah, right. So we're going to work on that. All right, but remember, so
Can we work at all today on, like, I guess
lengthening a little bit?
lengthening of the stride, because we're not connecting on.
Yeah. Okay. The big thing with that is going to be what you have to first do. See, is connect it. You have to get the right neck shape, and connect the horse in the regular trot, in the working trot. Because if there's no connection, that's all it will be is it will just speed up the steps or slow. You've got to be able to get the horse seeking the hand, because when the horse comes solid through the whole top line, then we can elongate the steps and it will lengthen. But we'll work on it a little bit. All right. So I would say let's go right away and skip the long and low, okay? Let's just go right up, because we'll get more use of our time. Let's go into the working trot sitting, so I can work on your position and you can know where the horse needs to be on the bit, and we'll go from there. All right. Yeah. So remember a lot of those things, like I was telling all the riders today. Watch that you don't arch your lower back too much. Keep your heel down. Try not to have your, don't let this horse get reliant that you're always going to be holding it with the leg. Turn your foot in a little bit. Yeah. Try to get the spur off the horse. And just let yourself be deep. I don't want to use the word following the motion, because you really want to be, you're setting the tempo. See, so you're bump, bump, bump. You bounce, but you bounce in a specific rhythm. You keep encouraging the horse to carry that up. Yeah. Now, yeah, so shoulders need to go, open your chest a little bit more like that, and keep a bend in your elbow. Yeah, that's good, right. And now, you just keep the horse pressed up to the bridle. Yeah, and so that head carriage wouldn't be too bad. It needs to just become really stable there, so it doesn't dip down and come up. That would be great right there, yeah. So you keep a little feel in the reins, Lindsay, yeah, and then keep the horse pushed up with your seat and back so you make a solid contact, right? And now keep it, so you keep it up there you keep pushing. If she doesn't follow your back and seat, then you use your lower leg a little bit. You give her a little squeeze or a little tap with the spur to say, okay, stay right up in the bridle and keep consistent. How does that feel? Good. That looks good, yeah, that's great. Okay, all right. So now make like a small diagonal, come out here across the diagonal and then turn to the right and work on the right circle a little bit. Yeah, now try to watch your feet. Yeah, you don't get too grippy in the lower leg. Yeah, so now just a plain circle to the right and work on the tempo, and now try to keep her pressed up into the bridle. The same thing, you put her on the bit. Yeah, and sit back a little bit. Yeah, that's it, right. Don't get too tipped forward. You don't want to be like a Western seat, where you're sitting on your back pockets, but you don't want to be, fork seated either. Okay, now I want you to tell me when you think she's on the bit correctly. Yeah, that's pretty good. How about your bend?
Terrible.
Okay, that's not terrible, but it's not great, yeah. It could use a little more bend, yeah, to the right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go right to our leg yields to improve the bend. So finish your circle, come down the center line here, and then leg yield right to left, and let's start working on fixing this bend. Now don't tip forward in your pelvis too much, sit down, yeah. So your rear end is squashed out behind you, and you're deep on your seat, and your back is straight above. Okay, so turn, yeah. Now leg yield to the wall, yeah, right to left. Now you're going to work. So, and remember, since this is you want to teach the horse to listen to and yield for my leg, so that when you get back on the regular circle, Lindsay, if you put your right leg on, you're going to be able to push the rib cage over where it belongs to the left. Okay. Now you can go ahead and double up. Right. Do another leg yield there. Go all the way to the wall now. Yeah. Push all the way to the wall. Now, when you get to the wall, Lindsay, you try to keep that right bend. You may have to keep pulsing with that right leg and use a little right rein. But now you're going to have to be really relentless. Again, center line again, bend, yeah. You're going to have to really start training this horse to bend to the right. Okay, now bend to the right. Yeah, move away from my leg. So you're going to teach her, and every time you need to make this correction, she'll understand now bend her over to the right. So use the leg again and again and again. Yeah. Whoops, yeah. And now center line. And again, watch your shoulders, Lindsay. Sit up tall. And now leg yield. And so as soon as she knows it, Lindsay. So now on the circle, keep doing that. See, don't let her go back into left bend. Now try to go on a plain circle to the right and use the same kind of strategy here of the leg yielding to make her bend to the right. Sit up straight though, don't tip, yeah. And use a little right rein, the right leg. And tell me when the bend is better. Okay, good. Right, and keep your impulsion, right. And you're going to have to be absolutely relentless about that, Lindsay. Don't let her anymore go to the right, bend to the left, okay? You know how to do leg yield. Use the leg yield. Use the circles. Do whatever you have to do, but fix that right bend. Okay. Now, so now what we're going to do, we're going to keep going because we wanted to learn a little bit about the lengthening. Now, so you're going to try to work on your right bend. Now keep your knee deep, right? And your seat, yeah. And we're going to do this sitting, all right? Now going down the long wall, you're going to try, hold on to the reins, keep her on the bit, and you're going to press a little bit with your back and lengthen the stride a little bit. Don't try for too much, just, it's too much, easy. Yeah, first we're just going to, because we've got to kind of keep it in the same tempo and we've got to keep the bend. You know what? Let's try to do it on a circle. That'll be a little maybe easier. So go on a big circle, sit up straight, okay? Get your right bend, use your right leg, push the bend, oh yeah. And now, yeah, really use the whole, go in a really big circle, yeah, okay? Now, trying to keep the same tempo, Lindsay, same dump, 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 but you're going to make it a little bit bigger. So now, dump, dump, a little bigger. That's right, easy, hold on to the reins, yeah.
She does that little hop step.
That's, yeah, because she's thinking of cantering, yeah. So go, stay on the big circle. So just a big circle, yeah. Get the submission, okay. Now, yeah, get her on the bit. Now smooth like that. See, smooth, stretch it out a little bit like that. Just a little at a time, right? Stroke a little bigger. Okay, go a little bigger. No, hold. Yeah, on the bit. Yeah. Now straight. Yeah, you got to make her straight. Yeah. And now go ahead, lengthen a little bit. Lengthen the trot. Easy. Yeah, you just keep your knee deep and smooth. Lengthen it a little bit. Okay, go on. You're okay. A little more. Slow, easy, on the bit, right? Go large. Yeah, try steady. Yeah.
Jeez, I can't sit that.
Yeah, so she, as long as she veers into that right leg, it's going to be difficult for us, yeah. Okay? Try again, a little bit lengthen. Lengthen a little bit. Easy, yeah. Yeah, right, easy. Yeah. That's better. See, keep the same tempo like that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But it's just long 2, long. So now it's a little long 2, long 2, a little longer 2, long 2, long 2, a little longer, long 2, long 2, long 2, steady 2, good. And now a little bit shorter 2, shorter 2, shorter 2, shorter 2. Same beat 2, yeah. Okay, across the next, and that's Lindsay, that's how you're going to do it. A little bit every day. But the first thing you've got to do is we've got to solve is this right bend, because as long as she's that crooked, none of this stuff is going to work very well. Okay, so you're just going to might as well stay on the right rein. And we'll just stay that way, and we're going to work a little bit more on the leg yields. And then the next thing is a little bit of the shoulder in, because that's one of the best exercises.
I have no idea how to do that.
Okay. All right.
Reading, I don't get it.
All right, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to use the leg yield to leg yield over to the wall, all right? Okay. When you're going to, by that time you'll have a right bend. Then try to just continue down that long wall in the right bend.
What do I do?
What are your inside, here, just stop for a second. So you'll enter, yes, you already turned right. So your inside rein was going to initiate the turn to the right. So you're going to have you're going to lead with your inside rein, and your inside leg's going to put on a rib cage like you're going to bend. Just as though you were going to turn into a circle, okay? So now you come around the corner, inside rein, a little bit inside rein, inside leg, and the horse begins to like step into the circle almost.